Number 10, saying, "I'll try" instead of committing. I'll try. On the surface, it sounds polite, flexible, even humble, but in the workplace, these two words can quietly poison your reputation. Why? Because "I'll try" doesn't mean yes, and it doesn't mean no. It hangs in the air like an unfinished sentence, leaving your colleagues unsure of your real intentions. Think about it. When a manager assigns you an important task and you say, "I'll try," what they actually hear is doubt. You haven't committed. You've left yourself an escape hatch, a way out if things get too tough. This small phrase creates a ripple effect. Over time, coworkers begin to see you as unreliable. They start to assume that when you say, "I'll try," you're really saying, "Don't count on me." Even if you deliver the work, the seed of uncertainty has already been planted. Leaders notice who speaks with confidence and who hides behind hesitation. In high-stakes environments, uncertainty is contagious, and no one wants to bet on someone who doesn't sound sure of themselves. The damage doesn't stop there. "I'll try" erodes your own confidence too. Every time you say it, you reinforce the idea that success is optional, not expected. Instead of programming your mind with determination, you feed it with excuses. Compare that to the power of saying, "Yes, I'll get it done," or "No, I can't take this on right now." Both are definitive, both inspire clarity, and both earn respect, even if one is a refusal, because at least people know where you stand. So the next time you feel "I'll try" slipping out, pause. Replace it with a choice. Commit fully or decline with honesty. Ambiguity may feel safe in the moment, but in the long run, it quietly chips away at your reputation. In the workplace, trying isn't what makes you trustworthy. Committing is. And when your words carry certainty, people start to see you not just as a colleague, but as a leader. Number 9. Overusing casual jokes in serious meetings. Laughter can be a powerful connector. A well-timed joke can ease tension, make you relatable, even spark creativity. But in the workplace, especially during serious meetings, humor has a razor-thin line between charm and sabotage. When every other sentence is a punchline, people stop seeing you as the problem solver and start seeing you as the distraction. Picture this. The team is discussing a critical client presentation. Deadlines are tight and tension is in the air. Everyone is focused on solutions. Suddenly, you crack a casual joke, maybe about the client's demands, maybe about your workload. People laugh politely, but the flow breaks. The gravity of the moment is lost. Do it once and it might be harmless. Do it repeatedly, and colleagues start labeling you as the one who can't take things seriously. This is where reputations form in silence. Humor is memorable, yes, but not always in the way you want. Leaders notice patterns. Who brings ideas? Who brings focus? And who constantly derails the conversation? Over time, even your best contributions may get overlooked because people have already filed you under comic relief. In workplaces where decisions carry weight, this label can quietly block promotions, erode credibility, and keep you from being trusted with higher responsibilities. What's worse, overjoking can be misinterpreted. Sarcasm in particular can sound like disrespect or dismissal. That funny remark about a manager's strategy might feel lighthearted to you, but it could bruise trust more deeply than you realize. Humor without boundaries can damage relationships, and once trust is lost in professional settings, rebuilding it is an uphill climb. The truth is, you don't have to abandon humor altogether. In fact, humor done right can make you magnetic. The key is balance. Save your wit for lighter moments, team lunches, casual chats, celebratory wins. But in meetings where people's reputations, deadlines, or strategies are on the line, choose presence over punchlines. Let your professionalism be the loudest voice in the room. Because when people look back on those meetings, they'll remember the one who helped solve problems, not the one who made them laugh at the wrong time. Number 8. Arriving exactly on time but never early. Punctuality is often praised as a professional virtue. But here's the hidden trap. Arriving exactly on time every single day isn't always the compliment you think it is. In fact, in many workplaces, it silently chips away at how people perceive you. Why? Because on time often reads as bare minimum. You made it, but just barely. You're here, but not ahead of the curve. Imagine this. A meeting is scheduled for 10 a.m. Everyone else has settled in by 9:55, ready to dive in. You walk in at 10 o'clock sharp, maybe even as the first sentence begins. Technically, you're not late, but the subtle message you've sent is, "I do only what's required, nothing more." Over time, this becomes your reputation. The person who arrives when the clock says, but never shows initiative by being early. The impact goes deeper than perception. Arriving exactly on time often leaves no margin for error. A delayed elevator, a sudden login issue, a last-minute hallway conversation. All it takes is one small hiccup and exactly on time becomes late. And once people start associating your name with delays, trust quietly erodes. In high-pressure environments, reliability is measured in those few extra minutes you didn't give yourself. Leaders, consciously or not, notice who treats time with respect. Those who show up a little early signal preparedness. They're the ones who can be trusted with urgent projects, high-profile meetings, or client-facing responsibilities. Because if you can't buffer your own time, how will you buffer risks on bigger tasks? Of course, no one is asking you to camp outside the meeting room 20 minutes early. But a consistent pattern of arriving 5 minutes ahead speaks volumes. It shows you value not only your time, but the time of everyone else. It signals foresight, discipline, and readiness. So while arriving exactly on time may keep you safe from criticism, it won't elevate you. In the workplace, the smallest edge often creates the biggest reputation. And sometimes that edge is as simple as showing up before the clock demands it. Number 7. Talking too much about your workload. Workplaces thrive on collaboration, and sharing updates is essential. But here's a trap many fall into: constantly talking about how busy you are. At first, it may feel like a badge of honor, proof that you're working hard, that your plate is full, that you're important to the system. But the more you broadcast your workload, the more it backfires. Instead of admiration, people quietly interpret it as complaining, posturing, or even incompetence. Think about it. If every conversation with you circles back to how overwhelmed you are, colleagues stop hearing it as dedication. They hear it as noise. They may even start wondering, if you're always so busy, are you managing your time well? Are you organized enough? Or are you dramatizing normal responsibilities? Over time, the story you tell shapes your reputation, and always busy often translates to always struggling. There's another layer to this. Constantly vocalizing your workload makes others hesitant to approach you. Teammates might avoid asking for your help, even when they need it, because they assume you're drowning already. Leaders may stop giving you stretch assignments, fearing you can't handle them. What you thought was a display of effort becomes a self-built cage, limiting your opportunities for growth. The irony is, the busiest people rarely need to say it out loud. Their results speak louder than their words. True professionals know when to keep quiet and let their delivery prove their capacity. Instead of repeating how much you're juggling, it's far more powerful to say, "Yes, I'm handling it," or "I'll prioritize this." That communicates control, not chaos. Of course, transparency is important. Sometimes you need to set boundaries or flag when you're truly at capacity. But the difference lies in tone and frequency. State it clearly once when needed, then move forward with solutions. Avoid turning busyness into your brand. Because here's the truth. No one gets promoted for being the loudest about how much they're working. They get promoted for being the calmest under pressure, the most reliable in silence, the one who turns a heavy workload into seamless results. Number 6. Forwarding emails without adding value. In today's workplace, emails are currency. They move ideas, decisions, and responsibilities forward. But here's a mistake that silently damages reputations: forwarding emails without adding anything of your own. On the surface, it feels efficient. I passed it along, my job is done. In reality, it signals laziness, thoughtlessness, and a lack of ownership. Imagine this: your manager receives a forwarded chain with no context, no summary, no highlight. They now have to dig through the thread, interpret the details, and guess why it even landed in their inbox. Instead of saving time, you've created extra work. Multiply this by dozens of similar forwards, and you'll quickly be seen as someone who dumps problems instead of solving them. Forwarding without context also robs you of visibility. Every message you send is a chance to showcase your clarity, judgment, and professionalism. When you simply hit forward, you erase your presence from the conversation. Over time, colleagues begin to wonder, does this person actually understand what they're sending, or are they just passing the buck? Leaders notice subtle signals like this. Those who add concise notes, "See page 3 for the main issue," or "Here's what I recommend we do," stand out as proactive thinkers. They demonstrate they've read, processed, and added value. Those who don't, they fade into the background as human forwarding machines. The truth is, forwarding emails isn't bad. It's how you forward them that defines your reputation. Attach insight, add a summary, clarify next steps. Even a brief line like, "Here's the critical update and what it means for our team," shows initiative and spares your recipients wasted time. Because in the workplace, communication isn't about shifting information. It's about shaping it. And when you transform every forward into a contribution, people stop seeing you as a messenger and start seeing you as a leader. Number 5. Taking notes only for yourself, not team. Note-taking is often seen as a quiet, responsible habit. You sit through a meeting, pen in hand, jotting down everything you think matters. It feels productive, like you're capturing order out of chaos. But here's the hidden flaw. If those notes never leave your notebook, you've missed one of the most powerful opportunities to build trust and visibility. Think about it. A meeting ends, everyone disperses, and you walk away with pages of details that could help the entire team. But no one else sees them. Days later, when someone asks, "What exactly did we decide?" or Who was supposed to follow up? You're the only one with answers. Instead of being seen as helpful, this makes you look guarded, even self-centered. It signals that you work in silos, that you capture knowledge only for yourself, not for the collective. The deeper impact is reputational. Teams value people who amplify clarity. When you consistently share notes, concise, structured, and accessible, you brand yourself as the person who keeps projects on track. But when you hoard them, your reliability never shines beyond your desk. Leaders might not even realize you're detail-oriented because you've hidden your strengths behind closed pages. And here's another truth. Taking notes just for yourself can create subtle mistrust. If you're always scribbling but never sharing, colleagues may start to wonder, what are they writing down? Why is it private? That seed of doubt is small, but it grows. The fix is simple yet powerful. After each meeting, take 5 minutes to type and share a short summary. Key decisions, action items, deadlines. It doesn't need to be perfect prose, just clear enough to guide the team. That single act transforms you from passive observer to active contributor. Because in professional life, it's not enough to absorb information. You have to distribute it. Sharing your notes isn't just about helping others remember. It's about showing you care enough to make everyone succeed together. Number 4, saying yes to everything but missing deadlines. At first glance, saying yes to every request looks like ambition. It paints you as a team player, someone willing to shoulder responsibility. But beneath the surface, this habit is a ticking time bomb. Because every yes without calculation is a silent promise, and every broken promise is a direct hit to your credibility. Here's the paradox. People rarely remember the moment you agreed. They remember the moment you failed to deliver. A missed deadline overshadows 100 enthusiastic nods. Slowly, colleagues stop trusting your word. Managers hesitate before assigning you critical tasks. And instead of being seen as dependable, you become the person who overcommits and underdelivers. It doesn't stop there. Consistently saying yes builds a dangerous cycle of burnout. You stretch yourself thin across too many priorities, juggling tasks with little focus. The quality of your work suffers, and so does your health. What began as a desire to impress ends as exhaustion, and the very reputation you were trying to build crumbles under the weight of broken timelines. Leaders don't admire blind agreement. They admire discernment. The colleague who says, "I can't take this on right now, but here's when I could," is remembered as realistic, reliable, and strategic. Setting boundaries doesn't weaken your image. It strengthens it. It shows that you respect time, yours and everyone else's. So instead of reflexively saying yes, pause. Evaluate your bandwidth, ask clarifying questions, and commit only when you're certain you can deliver. Because in the workplace, a single honest no builds far more respect than 10 careless yeses, followed by excuses. In the end, your reputation isn't built on how many promises you make. It's built on how many you keep. Number 3, avoiding eye contact during presentations. You can prepare flawless slides, rehearse every word, and know your material inside out. But if you avoid eye contact while presenting, your message loses half its power. Why? Because in communication, eyes are currency. They signal confidence, honesty, and connection. Without them, even the strongest content feels fragile. Picture this. You're in front of your team, speaking passionately about a new strategy, but your eyes keep darting to the screen, your notes, or the floor. The audience notices. They don't see your preparation, they see your hesitation. Instead of absorbing your ideas, they start doubting your conviction. The unspoken message becomes, if they don't trust themselves, why should we trust them? Avoiding eye contact also creates emotional distance. Presentations aren't just about transferring information. They're about persuading people to care. And people care when they feel included. A glance towards someone in the room makes them feel part of the conversation. Ignoring them, even unintentionally, makes them feel excluded. Over time, this chips away at your ability to influence. Even if your content is top-notch, the damage extends to your reputation. Colleagues may start labeling you as timid, unprepared, or even insincere. In leadership roles especially, lack of eye contact is often read as lack of credibility, and credibility, once questioned, is hard to rebuild. But here's the good news. Eye contact is a skill, not a trait. You don't need to stare uncomfortably, just cycle your gaze naturally across the room. Hold eye contact for a few seconds with different people, then move on. Even on virtual calls, looking into the camera creates the illusion of connection. These small shifts transform how others perceive you, from hesitant to confident, from distant to engaging. Because in the end, presentations aren't just judged by what you say, they're judged by how much people believe you. And belief begins the moment you meet their eyes. Number 2, being too available for gossip. Workplace gossip often disguises itself as harmless chatter. A quick whisper about a colleague, a light laugh at someone's mistake, a "did you hear?" exchanged over coffee. It feels social, even bonding. But when you become the person always available for gossip, you're quietly writing a reputation that's hard to erase. Here's the truth. People don't trust the gossip. They fear them. If you're quick to dissect others behind their backs, your coworkers will assume you'll do the same to them. Even when they laugh with you, a voice in their mind whispers, "What are they saying about me when I'm not here?" That invisible suspicion spreads faster than any rumor. The cost is bigger than damaged trust. Gossip distracts you from meaningful work, steals focus, and places you in circles where negativity thrives. Over time, managers notice. They see who spends their breaks exchanging ideas and who spends them exchanging whispers. Promotions don't go to the person who knows everyone's secrets. They go to the one who knows how to stay above the noise. Being available for gossip also undermines your professionalism. It signals that you prioritize drama over progress. Even if you're brilliant at your work, the constant association with gossip can make people question your maturity and reliability. Breaking free doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means redirecting the energy. If a conversation starts to slip into gossip, steer it back. Let's focus on what's next for the project. Or, I'd rather not speculate. These simple pivots protect your image while quietly signaling integrity. Because in the end, gossip may win attention in the moment, but it erodes respect in the long run. And respect is the true currency of workplace success. Stay clear of the whispers, and people will begin to see you as someone whose presence builds trust, not suspicion. Number 1. Constantly apologizing even for small things. Sorry, it slips out easily. You bump someone in the hallway. Sorry. You misspeak in a meeting. Sorry. You ask a question. Sorry. At first, it seems polite, even considerate. But in the workplace, constant apologies for minor things don't make you humble. They make you appear insecure. And insecurity, repeated often enough, reshapes how others see you. Here's the hidden danger. Every sorry lowers your authority a little bit. It signals guilt where none is needed, weakness where strength is expected. Colleagues start to associate your name with hesitation. Managers begin to wonder, if this person is always apologizing, are they unsure of their own value? Even when you're right, the habit of over-apologizing frames you as wrong. It doesn't just affect perception, it affects you internally. Apologies program your mind to believe you're always at fault even when you're not. That mindset drains confidence, making you less likely to speak up, less likely to push ideas, less likely to take risks. Slowly, your voice gets smaller in rooms where it should grow louder. Of course, apologies have their place. When you truly make a mistake, miss a deadline, offend someone, or drop the ball, owning it with a clear, "I'm sorry," restores trust. But flooding daily conversations with unnecessary apologies dilutes their power. The more you say it, the less it means when you actually need it. The alternative? Replace sorry with strength. Instead of, "Sorry for asking," try, "Thanks for clarifying." Instead of, "Sorry I'm late," say, "Thank you for waiting." These small swaps turn weakness into gratitude, hesitation into presence. Over time, people start to view you not as the apologizer, but as the professional who speaks with respect and confidence. Because in the workplace, your reputation is built not just on what you deliver, but on how you carry yourself. And carrying yourself with quiet assurance, not constant apology, is what earns lasting respect.